Hey, this is JP with Central Idaho Mountain Weather, giving you a Sunday update on an atmospheric river event that's scheduled to happen tonight into tomorrow and greatly affecting the Sawtooth area. So, I kind of want to give you the rundown, some impacts. So, we have some moderate to heavy rainfall for the mountains west of Ketchum, Galena Summit, and Stanley. That includes getting 1 to 2 inches of rain expected with higher amounts across the spine of the Sawtooth. So the Sawtooth is kind of the main area of concern, and also the other areas mentioned. In the forecast discussion, they're throwing out some interesting terminology like localized rockfall and landslide potential, increased potential for backcountry hikers and campers to get trapped. That's because the tributaries into the into the Salmon River are going to be overwhelmed with 3 to 4 inches of rain. So basically, all those creeks and streams near trails are going to get flooded real quick with 1 to 2 inches of rain and some of that falling on snow, which is going to just enhance that snow melt and bring more rain down into those creeks. So it's going to be kind of a temporary thing, but it is going to probably be pretty gnarly if you're happen to be out in the Sawtooths tomorrow. Temperatures are also going to be holding above freezing, so that's going to be rain on snow. They're mentioning the Ross Fork burn scar area is going to be of concern too. Some roads maybe being impassable if they are getting some pretty severe flooding. And then to make matters worse, we have some chance of PM thunder showers. But all this should wrap up by sunset tomorrow on Monday. So looking at the atmospheric river forecast, you can see this big swath that's currently hitting the Pacific coast right now. And it's scheduled to hit at an AR4 out of 5 on that scale. Intensity on Oregon. By the time it gets over the Cascades, it's going to be more of a moderate atmospheric river for us. So certainly not as high, but anytime it's hitting at a 4 or 5 on the coastline, it's going to be close to a 2 or 3 here. All right, let's look at this on the satellite reel right now. You got an area of low pressure here and cold front and associated it's coming through like this. And this is that pretty atmospheric river right here, bringing all that rainfall coming into the area starting at midnight tonight. So this is kind of the forecast discussion that I would pulled all those points out. This is the other thing that I was trying to, some backcountry roads and trails may be impassable. Consider altering your plans to avoid being in the mountains or the backcountry during this time frame. That time frame being 2 a.m. tonight into 8 p.m. tomorrow. If you are going to head out there, make sure you monitor the situation closely and be prepared for hazardous conditions. So kind of a spicy warning here. It's actually a special notice. Actually, I might be throwing that terminology out wrong. But moving on, let's look at the HER forecast. So focus, this is the Sawtooth crest right in here. Let's play this out. All right, so it should be coming through a little after midnight. You can see lots of yellow entering the area right about tomorrow at sunrise. So that's when we're going to really start ramping things up with some yellow enhanced rain. And then for the Wood River Valley, that's going to start a little bit later, maybe kind of mid-morning, around 8 or 9. and then kind of pick up intensity throughout the day. And then it's by sunset, it's out in the clear. And this is what the storms are going to look like. The potential for thunderstorms by 1 p.m. It's going to start firing off with 60 to 70% chance in the mountains. This is a cool graphic that National Weather Service out of Pocatello put out. The Highway 75 is this blue line, so you can see this is the chances of greater than 2 inches of rain. You can see that Williams Peak is kind of right here. So this is kind of going into Williams, kind of Redfish Canyon area. And that is pretty yellow. Let's see, that's probably 80 to 90% if I'm chance of reaching 2 inches of rain. So that's a lot of liquid to be falling within 12 hours, especially if you're here in Idaho. Looking at some more graphics, this is just another thing that they're throwing out here. You can see most of that severe area is kind of right around the Redfish Canyon area. And then down the valley floor, let's see, we're picking up about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch up there, and far less down in Haley, 1/4 to 1/2 inch, which even that is pretty incredible, but nothing when you're looking at what's happening in the crest of the Sawtooths. Just kind of show you the magnitude. This is looking at the Bench Lakes MBM model. For the the greatest intensity is going to happen between 6 a.m. and 11 a.m. So in the morning hours is when we're going to get quite a bit of rain. You can see it's already at 1/2 inch by that point, and then ramps up, get about 1.3 inches in that time frame. So pretty crazy event that's going to be happening. You can see there's some chance of thunder, but not as much on the MBM forecast. And then just one last look. This is by Monday night for the MBM models, just to paint a different picture. You can see all across the crest is going to be well over 1.5 inches of rain, with locally close to 3 inches. That's again that Redfish Canyon area, Williams Peak zone. Looks like it's going to be getting the greatest amount of moisture out of this. So pretty crazy storm. Just wanted to chime in with an update because it had changed quite a bit since we were looking at this stuff on Friday. I think it doubled. And whenever you add the word atmospheric river in there, it always creates quite a bit of hype. But yeah, this is going to be happening in the next 10 hours. So that's pretty close for forecasting purposes of probably being pretty accurate. I will chime in with an update tomorrow.